friends. Welcome to an unscheduled edition of Crime Time with DutyRon. Guys and girls, I'm a retired New York City police detective, and if you like all things true crime related from that police detective's perspective, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so you'll get all things DutyRon and Ed Wallace when we go live. Hey, quickly, I wanted to bring breaking news to you guys. I covered the Anna Walshe case. This is the mom of three, 38 years young, who went missing on New Year's Day, according to her husband. Breaking news, her ex-husband now, Brian Walshe, is charged with not only misleading the investigators like we knew from the past, he's now been charged with her murder. So that just broke about 30 minutes ago. And, we knew all along with the evidence that was recovered, the hacksaw, the hatchet, the bloody carpet, and so forth that was recovered. We kind of knew that this was coming. This was impending. I was waiting for this arrest to happen. He's been in custody. I call him an ex-husband. When you kill your wife, you now become an ex-husband in my book. So let me just go back to who was just questioning that. Teresa B says ex ? They're divorced. Yeah, that's my answer to that question, and that's the reason I called him an ex-husband, because no good husband would obviously take the life of his significant other, the mother of his children. This guy is a severe, sick monster, and he's innocent until proven guilty, but the evidence is overwhelming. Hey, ex-goddess, I am. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. Hello to everybody joining. Karen, Legal Minded Friends. Again, this broke about 30 minutes ago. Missing Cohasset woman, Anna Walshe, husband, Brian, charged with murder. He was previously charged with misleading the investigation. Brian Walshe, the husband of missing Cohasset mother Anna Walshe, now faces murder charges in connection with her disappearance. Anna Walshe was last seen more than 2 weeks ago on New Year's Day and was reported missing a few days later. The upgraded charges were filed Tuesday by the Norfolk District Attorney Michael Morrissey. A continued investigation has allowed police to obtain an arrest warrant with probable cause to charge Brian Walshe with the murder of his wife, the district attorney said. Walshe is expected to be in court in Quincy District Court, where he will be arraigned on said charges. Brian Walshe was originally arrested 1 week later on charges of misleading the investigation and has been held on a high bail, $500,000 bail, ever since. Meanwhile, several search efforts have yielded evidence. Additional details in the investigation and evidence supporting the charges are likely to be presented at arraignment. And this arraignment's going to happen today, if not happening right now. This additional information at arraignment will not be disclosed at this time. The district attorney had a little bit of a video that he did. I could play that for you, but I'm going to play the news clip. This is just the audio from the news clip.
Right now, in the case of missing Cohasset mother Anna Walshe, we can now confirm that her husband, Brian Walshe, is charged with her murder. Again, he's been charged with her murder. The warrant against Walshe issued moments ago by a clerk magistrate in Quincy District Court. Brian Walshe had previously been charged with misleading investigators regarding the disappearance of his wife. This all started when Anna Walshe, a mother of three young boys, was reported missing on January 4th. That report to police came from her employer, a high-profile real estate firm in Washington, D.C. She was last seen by a friend with her husband, Brian, on New Year's Eve at their home in Cohasset. Brian Walshe was first taken into custody back on January 8th. As a 5 Investigates photographer captured this exclusive video of Walshe being led into the police department there in Cohasset in handcuffs. The next day, Walshe smiled here for the cameras as he was taken to his arraignment. In court, prosecutors allege that he lied about his whereabouts after Anna's disappearance, including a trip to Home Depot where he paid $450 for various cleaning supplies. They also claim the police found blood in the Walshe's basement and a damaged knife. 5 Investigates has learned that a search of a transfer station in Peabody in this case, which is not far from his mother's home in Swampscott, resulted in the discovery of a bloody rug, a tarp, and a hacksaw. All of those, we understand, were tested for DNA evidence. Again now, the news just in, Brian Walshe, officially charged in the murder of his wife, who's been missing, Anna Walshe. We expect to learn more in the hours ahead. Of course, we're tracking every angle on this. We've got a crew of reporters on this story today. Stay with News Center 5.
This is how you build an Instagram powerhouse.
I got another little piece that I'm going to show you here.
You can now copy and paste.
This is the district attorney.
Police Department and the Massachusetts State Police Detectives assigned to the Norfolk District Attorney's Office.
This is
Been
the
involved
DA.
in an intensive investigation into the fate of Anna Walshe, a 39-year-old Cohasset mother of three, since she was first reported missing on January 4th. Early in this investigation, the police developed probable cause to believe that her husband, Brian Walshe, age 47, had misled police investigators on material matters important to the search for Anna Walshe. He has pled not guilty to those charges and is currently being held at the Norfolk County House of Correction. The continued investigation has now allowed police to obtain an arrest warrant charging Brian Walshe with the murder of his wife. Mr. Walshe will be transported to the Quincy District Court for arraignment on the charge of murder. Additional details of the investigation and the evidence in support of those charges are likely to be presented at arraignment, but will not be disclosed at this time. This marks the second allegation of domestic violence homicide in Norfolk County in less than a month. Our thoughts are very much with the family these crimes have left behind.
All right, so that was the district attorney Morrison. Again, horrific crimes. People ask DutyRon, why do spouses do this? I mean, there's no clear answer to this. There's always other options than to resort to violence of this violent nature. We hear about a hacksaw and other items that were purchased by this guy and recovered. There was a knife that was broken at the scene in the basement of the residence. But kudos to the police department, and I love the Boston accent. I can't do a Boston accent, but kudos to the police department. These guys do a great job. I remember our police commissioner, William Bratton, from Boston, from the Boston PD. He took over our transit police and then became the New York City Police Department mayor. Yeah, kudos to the Boston police, that worked this case, and everybody that was involved in it, to come to a very quick resolution, because we're still, here we are in mid-January, and they have a resolution here, and the wheels of justice is just beginning to turn in the name of Anna Walshe and her family and her surviving children. That's the real victims here are not only her surviving family, but these poor young kids. And I don't have the ages off the top of my head, but I believe it was like 2, 6, and 2, 4, and 6, or they're young children, little baby, 2 years old as a baby. I have it written down on a notepad because I'm going to link down below the very first video I made on this case. It was last Saturday when I covered it. Very sad. We're going to go into this case and into the details with Ed Wallace. We're going to talk about the crime scene. We're going to talk about evidence collection and the DNA recovery that's going to come into play heavily in this case. DNA and so forth, and all of the forensic science is what led them back to Brian Walshe. Lots of information, and was a treasure trove of evidence left behind. Talk about a sloppy criminal. This guy was sloppy in all different ways. So, yeah, Barbara, I agree. Barbara George, very disturbing case. Oscar is doing great. Oscar did not get sick. We were just so worried that when he swallowed that little teeny gel cap, that little vitamin D gel cap, that I dropped on the floor in my kitchen, so I was responsible for it. I picked it was like 50 of those gel caps. They were little teeny round little things. I tried to get them up as quick as I could, and I actually put the dog gate up so he couldn't get into the kitchen. But one of them went out into the hallway, and he somehow found it and ate it real quick. But he never got sick. What he got sick from was the hydrogen peroxide that we gave him to make him vomit. So he vomited up all the contents of his stomach, and Oscar, our 14-year-old hot dog dachshund is doing fine. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, you can't fix evil. 100%. Tara Ellis says it well right there on screen. You can't fix evil. Um, but look at all these Bryans committing these heinous acts. Is it a coincidence? Yeah, I think so. But you look at Brian Laundrie, you look at Brian Kohlberger, you look at now Brian. Um, you know, Brian Walshe, husband. I called him an ex-husband because, like I said, you don't deserve the title of husband when you take the life of your significant other. And Anna Walsh, by all means, seemed like a beautiful person, a good, kind-hearted soul, somebody who worked hard and was a successful businesswoman. From what I could tell, the little bits that I could tell, you don't get to have that title as husband. So that's why I said the ex-husband. I wasn't referring or inferring that they had a divorce. They were divorced, but there goes the Boston accent coming out. Divorced. They were not divorced, but definitely I chose to use my words because that's my feeling on it. That's my feeling on it. I don't want to even refer to him as her husband because what a piece of garbage, what a piece of human garbage to take somebody's life so brutally like that. And we don't even have all the details of how horrific this case was and what exactly was done to her. But you could just imagine, you could just use your imagination, with the evidence and the tools that were recovered from this alleged crime scene. You would have to think that, this was a violent in nature, and what he did to her is probably something that we don't want to get into here and now. But that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you dropping in here for this quick live interactive broadcast. I couldn't not go live and tell you guys about this because I was running around doing some errands and I just pulled back into the parking lot. I'm on my lunch break. Thank you for being here, Glara, Tweety US News. Thank you for being here. Hi, Marcia, Cecilia. Great to see everybody joining in. Ali D, thank you so much. Yeah, the kids are in protective custody. They're in Massachusetts Authority. Last time I checked, at last look at this case, it looked like the kids were in protective custody. They do that as a precaution. It's not that they're doing it to try to break the family up, but right now, while the police are doing this quickly, they have to put the kids in protective custody. Thank you for all the well wishes for Oscar. Greatly appreciate it. Nikki Bella, great to see you. Free to be. Thank you for being here and catching us live. And if I missed anybody, I apologize. Nikki Bella, Donna Marie, thank you, thank you, thank you, guys. If you can, please, while you're here, give this video a thumbs up. Share it out onto your social media platforms. Like and subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace. We are going to be live tonight at 9 p.m. We're going to have corrections from Tier Talk, corrections professional Anthony Ganji and Connie Eileen. For those of you who are here or been here a while, Connie Eileen is a corrections professional. She runs the Civilian Corrections Academy, but she also did prisoner intake at Rikers Island for a long time. So Connie Eileen and Anthony Ganji, myself and Ed Wallace, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to go over Brian Kohlberger's what his life is going to be like in jail for the next 6 months and going forward past the 6 months when the trial commences. So he could be looking at, the next year in jail while this trial is getting ready to go forward. So we're going to ask Connie, who does the intake, and we're going to ask her questions like, if he had some kind of drug or substance abuse, how is this guy going to be handled? What's going to be his day-to-day? And we're going to talk to them on the correction side of this thing. It's a 42 cell, small little correctional facility, small little jail. And I want to know what his day-to-day is going to be like. Is he going to be able to get visitors on a regular basis? It looks like when I read online, they only have visitors on Saturday and Sunday, and you have to make an appointment. And there's no in-person visiting. In other words, there's no contact. So it's through a window. There's no contact with anybody according to the rules of that jail. But we're going to talk tonight to these two. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to, spitball. We're going to bounce around ideas and thoughts about what Brian Kohlberger's day-to-day is going to be like down in the dungeon, in the basement of the Latah County Jail. I would think that the people who would want to go visit him would be his immediate family, Southern SAS, his defense team, and that's probably about it. Texas Spitfire, good to see you. Anybody else that wants to, thank you for becoming a channel member. And Sana Alith Hof Johnson, member for 14 months of the DutyRon Gold. She's sending in a message requesting, where is Alicia B? Question mark. Unknown at this time. But I'm sure that she's got something going on. Otherwise, she'd be here. So thank you, Sana Alice Holt Johnson. But yeah, so we're gonna get into it tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna schedule it right after I get done with this. I'm gonna run inside, schedule it. Great to see you, Deborah Lyons. Thank you. My heart hurts for her kids. I believe it. My heart hurts too. So that's about it. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope we'll see you tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you have questions about Kohlberger's custody, please give me send me an email on DutyRon.com. Just question it. Put in the subject matter questions for tonight's show with Brian about custody of Brian Kohlberger, how he's going to be handled by the corrections. All right, guys, a lot of love and respect from my house to yours. God bless the world. God bless the United States of America. God bless each and every one of us here in the chat, but especially Anna Walsh's family. They're over in another country, I believe in Serbia. Her family is hurting right now, and those poor kids, her surviving children. We send them strength, prayers, and positive vibes always. I'll see you guys on the next one tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. Ed Wallace will be with us, Connie Eileen, and Anthony Ganji from Tier Talk podcast. We'll see you soon. God bless.